Hello everyone. I'm going to try something new today. Click subscribe. Click like. Never done that before. Let's see if it does anything. Anyway, back to it. 1924, pretty special year. Meisterstück by Montblanc was released. That was 101 years ago now, and I can't help but be impressed at the, I don't know, what's the composure that the counterfeiting people managed to hold themselves to over that century, because they never, ever, ever came up with a counterfeit Montblanc 149 Meisterstück that has the same dimensions as the OG Meisterstück 149. And you know what just happened? They did it. They've counterfeited the 149, not just a clone, not just an homage, a counterfeit. And I tell you what, no, in fact, I'm not going to tell you what. Let's find out for ourselves. Let's take a look at it now. So here we have two pens. They look very much alike, don't they? All the dimensions are pretty much bang on. Yeah, the length is the same. The caps are identical. Clips are the same. The peaks are beautifully made. Like, both of them are really nice. Yeah, that one there. This one here. They're super smooth. You can't feel... Actually, you know what? This one I can feel just a little bit. I guess that must be the fake one then, eh? What do you reckon? I don't know. Should we have a look at the nibs? So, platinum finish, 149. Nice display window, you can see already there. And a beautiful two-tone fine nib. Let's not zoom in just yet. Let's get the other one up. Okay, so now we've got the gold trim, the yellow gold trim. And we have another nib. Less yellow gold on this one. It's a bit more of that white gold. Platinum, I don't know what that is. And also the tipping looks different. I think this one looks broader than this one. So which one is the genuine? Are they both genuine? Look a bit more carefully. So, whoa, that one looks pretty nice, hey? Looks very nice. What about the feed? That's a very nice feed too. That's an ebonite feed. Clues, eh? All right, and this one. So there we are. What's the feed? Looks like, what do you reckon? Precious plastic. Semi-precious, is it? I don't know. Looks kind of nice. I wonder what it writes like. Oh, hang on. One more thing. Sorry. The mechanism. So let's go back out a bit. Here we are. Yeah, so what do we got for the mechanism? So this one has a piston, as you can see, and that twists out. I mean, I could make a mess. We want to make a mess? Yeah, of course we want to make a mess. Up the top? No, down the bottom. Why down the bottom? Because you don't smudge it as much if it's below. Come on, where's the ink gone? Whoop, there it is. All right. That is enough. So that's the one that's come out of the broad. And what about this one? Same deal? How are we going to do that? Like this. One drop. Yep, there it is. 2 drops. Very nice. Very nice. Which one are we going to go first for the writing set? The ink though, okay? Dollop. Beautiful. Konpeki. Everyone's favourite blue. All right, here we go. Fine tipped. Zoom in a bit more. Okay. Now, I want to hear the microphone on it, shall we? Let's do that. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. Pointed pen. Love heart. Bit of line width variation. Sorry, near the mic. Line width variation when I push. Look fine. Yeah, stretches a bit. Very juicy. Very well tuned right out of the box. Well, you know, if the box was from the 1990s and I bought this as a vintage pen, in a way, aren't I? Yep. Right, what's the next one? Let's put the next one down here. Okay, so that's the fine. That's the fine. Should we leave it out? Yeah, let's leave it. And then down here. Down here. How am I going to write? Oh, sure. Independent maths, too tricky. Okay, from here. You see that? Chipping. My goodness, my writing's awful this morning. My writing is terrible. Line width variation. Okay, so smooth, no force, more force. Yep. Oh, look at that. You can't see that. What about this? Yeah. It's very nice. On. So what do you think, everyone? What do you reckon? Is it this one? I guess we'll never know. Never know. Yeah, look, sorry, that's loser talk. We have a few more things we can try to at least, you know, make some observations and see if there's some more evidence for anything here. So, you know, we've only looked at these two pens, but there could be potentially some clues in where they might have originated. So you would think that over 101 years, someone had kind of had a go at it already. Well, and they have. In fact, I've done a couple of videos on them. You know, the Wingsong 630 has a piston fill, has roughly the same dimensions. It doesn't have the white peak on the top of the cap, of course, but you know, it has a really nice number 8 nib. It has a beautiful display window. Sure, usually it'll come with a steel nib that looks suspiciously like Montblanc nib, but you know, they never really went full bore and decided to make it a counterfeit Montblanc 149. They just made it very, very similar and gave you a performance of a pen, you know, not at all unlike the Montblanc. All right, so that's one. What else? Oh, you know, and that's that one. I've got a few others of it, of course. I've got this, you know, I should really show you this beautiful example because there's a reason. It's not just because of the mother of pearl here that I'm showing you. It's also because the nib inside is a totally different beast and a nicer offering than what I have in my usual Wingsong 630. Wingsong 630s or Wingsong's 630? Don't know. Oh, but hey. He was born after 1926. He was actually a 1931 guy, believe it or not. So, yeah, he's doing very nicely. Very nicely. So, yeah, here we are. That is a gold nib. Why am I telling you this? Why am I telling you this? Not exactly sure. Just comparing the offerings. Sometimes you don't really need to make it a clone. You don't really need to pretend that you're a Montblanc 149. Because, yeah, you know, the counterfeit ones will never be sold for the price I would pay for one of these guys here. Such a nice pen. Anyway, I digress. Third option, this one. What is it? Now, this one's a Jinhao X159, and it's cheap and cheerful. It's the I don't have any money, or I don't have very much money, and I want as close to a Montblanc 149 as I can. Oh, well, look at that. I've got a right oblique steel nib that I went nuts on one day. Forgot about that. Yeah. All right, so why am I bringing this one out? Well, it's nice and cheap. It just could be one of the contenders, but the filling mechanism on this one is this cartridge converter. It's a nice cartridge converter. Seals up nicely. There's good O-ring there. There's some metal components. Like, it's a well-made pen. But what, $10, something like that? Something like that. So, putting all that together, what are the clues? What do we have? Let me reveal it. So, dum-dum-dum, this is the counterfeit pen. This is not a Montblanc 149. It is not. How do I know this? Well, firstly, I didn't pay much money for it. It's really, really nice and new, and there's plenty in stock. Okay, that's one reason. Second reason is that clearly that's not a gold nib. It just totally is not. And the third is, of course, the plastic fill there, the feeder. Yeah, can we zoom in a bit more on that? Let's see. I mean, we already did that, I'm pretty sure. It looks to me most like the Wing Sung nib. You know, if I was a betting man and I had to guess which one it was, I reckon it might be these nibs. That's quite possible. There aren't any other nibs size 8 that look similar to this, I think, in the market. The 9019 comes with a nice nib, but it's a Jinhao marked, and it's not anywhere near the resemblance of these nibs. It looks completely different. It's completely different. All right, but they're the two options, right, for the steel nibs. What about the caps? Okay, so you know, you'd think, well, if they're going to make the barrel identical, let's just zoom out a bit. Yeah, to here. Okay, so you'd think that if they're trying to copy identically a Montblanc 149, it's not very hard to make an identical injection mold, right? However, there we are. So the Wing Sung is not exactly the same dimensions. It is slightly longer, and I mean, you can see, right? Like they're not exactly the same, and you don't get not exactly the same. You know, what's the word? I say pens, barrels, right? You don't get identical, not quite identical barrels without trying. So it's not just that you've made a mold to scan the original one and made an exact replica of it. No, the Wing Sung 630 has a slightly different barrel. Okay, right. Well, and then what else does it have that's different? Well, it has a piston, right? So they both have really nice pistons. I haven't gone inside. I haven't taken the counterfeit one apart yet. But you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they had very similar pistons to the one in the Wing Sung 630. All right. What about the cap? So first thing I see when I look at the the original one, so the real Montblanc 149 and the clone or copy or whatever you want to call it of the 149. So yeah, real, fake. Look at the threads. Zoom in. So they're also not the same. Yeah, they're not the same. Can the caps fit? I mean, like, it would not be hard to make the caps fit and be completely interchangeable, would it? No. Just ask AdMock about that. All right. So here we are. Let's try and put the cap on. So this is the nice. That's the right cap. Goes on smoothly, fast and securely. All right. Wing Sung. There's a Wing Sung cap. What about that one? Oh, it doesn't even fit over the barrel. So it's definitely not a Wing Sung mold. Absolutely not. All right. What about the genuine? So this is the fake, right? So this is the counterfeit one, but this is a genuine Montblanc 149 cap. So, it doesn't, the threads don't match. They don't. I can only rotate it. Hang on, let's see. So from here, the cap with the cap up there, the clip, put it in, and I rotate, it goes only that distance. So the threads are different. It's not the same. So they haven't copied the threads. They haven't copied the threads of the 630, and they haven't copied the threads of the Montblanc. What the... which threads have they copied? That's crazy. Well, I don't know. I mean, what about the X159, the Jinhao? Jinhao cap? No, it's even worse. That just will not fit over the top at all. In fact, I think that's worse than worse match than the Wingsung 630. About the same. Ooh, about the same. I wonder. Okay, can you put the X159 on a Jinhao? No. No, you can't. Can you put a Wingsung 630 on a X159? No. Also no. So these people are spending time coming up with their own things when they're trying to duplicate one for one a thing. That's so weird. It's just so weird. I wonder if they're doing it to confuse people. I don't know. Like, it's really quite strange. Where to go from here? Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think it's any of these. I think this pen may have been made specifically for this project of cloning the 149 and not copied from anyone else. And that, yes, that's right, Didi. That's right, Didi. Shocking. Isn't it? What do you reckon, Didi? Shocking? Her. She just wants me. She wants to cuddle. Oh, right, okay. Well, if we're going to get that far into it. What is it, Didi? What is it, Didi? What's wrong? Yeah, all right. Better stop it. This could get messy pretty quick. See ya. All right, Didi, that's enough. Okay, I'm saying goodbye. All right, Didi. All right, I'm off. Bye.